So right now it's not doing much. It's jiggling a bit, but it's not, doesn't really feel like a lightning. So this needs to move a lot more. Let's go to our point VOP again. And here on our turbulent noise, we have this parameter that I skipped before, which is the offset. The offset will basically advance the equation that's generating this noise in a certain axis or in all the axes. So we're going to be exposing these two parameters so that we can control them easily without having to go inside the point VOP. The other thing we're going to be exposing, let me go back. The other thing that we're going to be exposing is actually the amplitude. Okay, so let's expose these three. To expose a parameter that you have here on something like the turbulent noise, the easiest way is to just middle click on the parameter and choose promote parameter. Middle click on this one, promote parameter, and middle click on that one, promote parameter. Now, if we go up, after our ramp, you'll see we have frequency, offset, and amplitude. It's not very practical for us to keep having to come down and use the slider here on the side to have access to the attributes that we're actually interested in. So what we can do is actually edit the parameters that are displayed. Let's go here, edit parameter interface, and this window will pop up. We're not going to get too much into this, but this is the list of parameters that we're seeing here. And these two folders, we can just hide them for now. Okay, just select both of them and make them invisible, apply, hit accept, and now we just have the parameters that we're actually interested in. If we grab just any of these parameters, so the offset is a vector as well. So let me just grab the x coordinate, and let's say we start to moving this. Look what happens to our lightning. And this is exactly the type of movement that we want to add to our noise and to our lightning. Okay, so all we need to do is make sure that this offset is animated based on the frame. And we can easily do that by just using the same global variable that we're already familiar with, so Shift F. And that way we're going to be offsetting like this. Let me hit play. Make sure to have the real-time toggle on. So this is how fast it's going. If you think it's going too fast, you can just multiply this by something, let's say times 0.1. This is supposed to be something that's fast. This is supposed to be a fast effect. So 0.1 might be too much. Maybe 0.5. Okay, I think for now this is good enough value. In terms of amplitude, here we can control how strong the effect is. So if we put this at 0, we get nothing. If we put this at 5, we get a lot. So this is going to be an interesting control to have as well. For now, let's just leave it at 1. So the basics of the system that we're going to be using to do the main distortion on our main lightning is pretty much set. Let's just see how we can take this a bit further. Inside our point VOP, usually you don't just use one turbulent noise. You can use as many as you want, but for now we're gonna be using 2 turbulent noises. We're gonna be using one for a big scale distortion and another one on top of that for small scale distortion. Okay, and what we can do is I'm gonna duplicate this one. This one, I'm gonna say that this one is gonna be called, or let's just create a brand new one, turbulent noise. The first one is going to be for the big scale, while the second one is going to be for small scale distortion. I'm going to keep using the original Perlin noise, which gives me that range between -1 and 1. To make sure that this is different, we'll have to take some precautions, but for now, this is good. And what we need to do here is make sure that we add these two before we put them into this multiply. So let's create another add. Let's add this one with this one, and then we'll add it here. Remember that the signature of the second one also needs to be a 3D noise, and that's it. We'll also be exposing these parameters, so promote parameter, middle mouse button, and promote parameter. And I'm gonna promote the roughness as well, promote parameter. And I think we're all set. Now what's left for us to do is, let's go up. Right now this looks a bit like a mess because everything is mixed together, and we need to make sure that we kind of distinguish between the parameters that are affecting the first turbulent noise and the parameters that are affecting the second turbulent noise. It's pretty simple to do. Same thing, we just go over here to edit parameter interface, and there are a couple of things that we can do. We can, for instance, create a folder, grab a folder here. I'm going to put it right here, and this folder I'm going to change the name to big noise, and I'm going to put these three inside the big noise. Next, I'm going to create another folder. I'm going to call this small noise, and I'm going to grab the rest of the attributes. Actually, this is going to go here, and the ramp is going to go outside. So we don't really need, the ramp can stay outside. I'm just trying to organize the rest of the parameters. So everything else is going to come here. Now these folders that we're creating can be tabs, can be many things. Let's just say they're simple, and here it's simple. Apply, let's see how this looks. When you hit apply, you can see them. So now we have a simple group, a simple folder, which is regarding the big noise and the small noise. Okay, let's hit accept. Now let's make sure that the amplitude for the small noise is 0 so that we can just focus on the big noise first. Now the big noise is going to have a frequency that should be much lower. Okay, so we should have something much lower. We can also lower the roughness for this. I'm also going to expose the roughness. So let's just go inside. You can change things as you go along. So here on the roughness, I'm going to promote this parameter, go back outside, edit the parameter interface again. So now we have a roughness that's here, but it should be inside the big noise. Apply, accept, and now we have the same parameters for both. And I don't need as much roughness for the big shape. I might want a bit more amplitude, maybe 1.4. I'll keep lowering the frequency. The big shape. Okay, we have some interesting shapes here. Let me turn on the grid so you can realize what's the size of this and what's the orientation of this. Yeah, I think we have, nice. Maybe this is a bit too strong, the amplitude. I'll leave it at 1. Next, on the small noise, this one is going to have higher frequency and higher roughness. We're also going to be animating the small noise. So to make sure that they don't overlap, kind of, let's just make sure we offset one of the other axis by, let's say, 500. That way they're completely on different moments or in different spaces of the noise. And let's offset another axis. So let's say Shift F, it makes sense that this is faster, so times 2. So we get this effect, maybe a bit stronger here, 0.2, maybe 0.3. Okay, and we get this compound shape. And now we have a lot of control. So if you decide that the big noise is actually kind of more of a medium noise, you can just increase the frequency to get something a bit more detailed like this. So this is the basis. Let me hit play. I'm going to try, let's generate a flipbook out of this. So let's go back to camera 2. Let's make sure we have our geometry displaying. Let's go here to show all objects. And we should be able to get a good feel of this. I'm just gonna hit the flipbook button and let's see what this gives us. Okay, looking at this, it might be a bit too strong. So I'm probably gonna go and do some adjustments to this. Okay, so I think we have, I'm gonna settle with these values. You can check them out. So this is what I'm using and this is the result I'm getting. I think this is gonna work nicely. Anyway, at any point, we can come back to this and just do the adjustments if we feel that we need to. And that's it for this lesson, and we'll keep working on this on the next one.